The sound of gravel being ripped up at full throttle destroyed my serene morning. Coffee spilled over the rim of my mug as I whirled about just in time to witness Cynthia Reed's neon green ATV take flight, crashing full length into the wooden barrier I had constructed across the trail. The impact sent her flying over the handlebars, landing spread out on her back in a cloud of dust and shame. Her gaudy visor went one direction, her phone in another, and from the ground she unleashed a scream that could bring the dead to their feet. "You attempted to kill me!" she shouted, arms waving, as her yappy little terrier yapped from a crate bolted to the upended ATV. I said nothing. I took a slow sip of coffee and just gestured to the sign on the wall. Private property. No trespassing. This was the third time she'd broken the rules in 1 week, and for some reason she still played the victim with me. This wasn't about a shortcut anymore. This had escalated to an all-out war. 6 months back, I'd moved to Willow Hollow for some quiet country living. Chickens, a vegetable garden. No one breathing down my neck. But Cynthia, my neighbor and self-anointed HOA enforcer, had different ideas. From the moment I moved in, she treated the trail behind my property like her own private racetrack, tearing through on that ATV every dawn like she was auditioning for a monster truck show. Initially, I thought it was a fluke. Then it became automatic. I tried to confront her once. She flashed me that sitcom grin, waved like old buddies, and took off. She never so much as asked permission, just treated the land like it belonged to her. When I eventually caught up to her and told her it was private property, she laughed. "Oh, come on, everyone uses that trail. It's practically public." But I'd checked the deed. No easements, no shared rights. That trail was mine, completely. Still, she kept coming. I tried everything short of a standoff, posted no trespassing signs. She said the wind blew them away. Installed reflectors. She said they were ugly and threatened to report me to the HOA. That's when I saw she wasn't merely a busybody neighbor. She was the HOA's de facto tyrant, displaying a fabricated badge like some crummy Western sheriff. She started sending false notices, grievances over a shovel dropped by the barn, my mailbox being an inch too high. All of it just high-pressure tactics to push me away. So I planted a line she couldn't ignore. I constructed a cedar fence across the trail one weekend, anchored it with concrete, and finished it off with a sign, "End of the road for shortcut royalty." I even installed game cameras, one high up, one low down, just in case. The morning she ran into it was the first tranquility I'd known in weeks. Peace, however, with Cynthia was an illusion. She staggered onto my porch, slapping the door with her dirty sandal, screaming about lawsuits and attempted murder. I told her that the trail was private property and she was trespassing. That only seemed to make her madder. She said she would call the police. I invited her to do so and showed her the video of her burning up my signs. Her face went the same color as her ATV. Grumbling something about HOA regulations, she pulled her trashed ride home with her dog yapping at her heels. I figured that was the end of it. But Cynthia didn't know how to feel shame. That evening, my motion lights flashed. She was in her yard with binoculars, taking notes like some demented detective, observing enemy lines. The following day, an envelope slipped under my door, an official-looking HOA notice stating that my wall had infringed on community aesthetics, signed by Enforcement Officer Cynthia. I marched directly to the county office. The clerk assured me my property was exempt from HOA rules due to its agricultural zoning. He gave me a stamped waiver, and I smiled all the way home. Cynthia had no authority, but her ego hadn't received the memo. The next night, she arrived with 2 HOA acquaintances, taking photos of the wall as if it were a crime scene. One even had a measuring tape in hand, like that was going to get them a verdict. They grumbled, scowled, and departed. But the game cam documented another scenario. One of them looked at the camera lens and pulled out a spray paint can from her bag, like she was about to launch a grenade. They were up to something. I was prepared. 2 days later, the entire neighborhood was abuzz with rumors. Flyers materialized in mailboxes for an emergency HOA meeting on safety hazards. Thinly disguised, it was a hit job against me and my wall. My property was excluded, but its proximity allowed me to attend as a concerned resident. I got there early, GoPro concealed in my jacket, and sat in the back. Cynthia stood in front, pearl earrings shining, drumming on her notes as if she was going to indict war crimes. "This unlawful wall closes off a historic neighborhood trail," she announced, holding a... At the next HOA meeting, Cynthia was in full rant about unauthorized fences when Ethan rose, introduced himself, and presented her with a cease and desist letter. He read her state laws that invalidated her bogus fines and threatened her with a lawsuit if she continued to contact him. Then he presented the vandalism video. "We could press charges," he said. Cynthia's bluff burst. The room was quiet. Her reign was shattering. That evening, no ATV, no postings. But she wasn't finished. At 2 a.m., my drone camera photographed her creeping along the wall, flashlight clutched in her hand, gazing as if she could glare it away. I let her believe she was unseen. 7 days later, midnight, I heard a low mechanical whine. Drone feed revealed 5 figures creeping along the wall, Cynthia in the lead, gesturing as her team brandished bolt cutters and crowbars. They were taking it apart, steadily, quietly. I activated the recorder, let the drone linger. They removed beams, piling them like thieves putting away tools. I'd already alerted Deputy Vargas with previous footage, sent him the live feed. His reply, "En route." While Cynthia's team labored, red and blue lights illuminated the yard. "Step away! Hands where I can see them," Vargas ordered. One took off. Another stood still. Cynthia simply stood, fists clenched. "You again," Vargas said, half grinning. She chattered something about emergency access. He gestured toward the drone. "It's all on tape. Trespassing, vandalism, everything." She had no response when he asked if she was supposed to be there. He cuffed her, dragged her away. Her dog yapped from the porch. By afternoon, the entire neighborhood was abuzz. Pictures of her in handcuffs spread on Facebook, captioned, "HOA tyrant tamed." Local television reported it a suburban showdown. The HOA board convened without her. 2 members admitted she bullied them into the wall conspiracy. Ethan filed a civil complaint, trespassing, vandalism, harassment, presented drone video, police reports. He also reported the HOA for abuse of power. A county investigation was initiated. Cynthia posted bail, but disappeared. House dark, a TV impounded. I rebuilt the fence, stronger, with rock trim and a new sign. Not a shortcut. Boundaries matter. Neighbors nodded in approval. One called me a legend. Her house sat unsold until she lowered the price. She moved out, quietly, ignored by all. Then I noticed her patio and shit had been built over my line. By law, they were mine now. I converted the shed into a chicken coop, painted it Cynthia's Folly, installed an ATV-shaped weather vane. It became a local joke, a symbol of her breakdown. In court, her defense crashed. Ethan presented the drone video, vandalism, exemption documents. HOA board member Harold testified Cynthia had bullied him. The judge ruled against her, $30,000 in damages, a 500-foot restraining order, and a formal referral for HOA review. Cynthia's attorney stumbled. She stood there dumbstruck as murmurs trailed her out. A reporter photographed her storming away. Pearls pendant. The HOA changed. No more imposter titles. Third-party critique now mandatory. I even assisted in drafting the new regulations. Cynthia's authority? Gone. My wall remained, not only as a barrier, but as evidence. Evidence that entitlement topples when integrity stands firm. Neighbors now walk by with silent respect, nodding or grumbling. Good for him. Peace returned. Not just silence, but the deep, satisfying calm that comes when a bully's empire falls, and you're the one who pushed it.